Okay, y'all, this week I am starting off by reading 2 definitions because I do think that words mean things and it's very important to define the topic at hand today. So we're going to start with the first definition of patriarchy, a system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it. The second definition, a social system in which men typically hold authority and responsibility while also excluding women from it. Now, we're here to have the conversation. I'm joined by some very opinionated friends today. However, I want to let y'all know my take on this because where I think we stand with the patriarchy is that it needs to be thrown out of the window. It is an outdated means of a relationship and how we interact with each other because yes, we are kind of more 50-50 than what we want to believe. No, we're not talking splitting bills. We're not talking about who pays for the first date. But I do believe that in the dynamics of men and women that we are more equally yoked than we're not. And I do think that the patriarchy and trying to uphold it does nothing for either gender. Let's be very clear. As men, you guys are still trying to figure out a way to provide, yet get mad when women want you to provide. Make it make sense. And then as women, y'all, we want a man who's emotionally available to us, right? Emotionally intelligent and shows up for us while still demanding them to open their wallets first. How can we ask for both? I really think that we are living in a double-edged sword of society due to the patriarchy, and I think that we should literally get rid of it. Now, I'm here with 3 guests. I do have a woman helping me, although I don't think she's gonna help me very much because I don't like anything that she has to say about things. We have Passport Cutty, who is a life and dating coach and author of The M in Man is for Money. Also, Reloaded. And you have a woman's guide on how to handle men and money and dating and relationships. You also have a mental health book out as well. Can we get the name of that? Because I don't want to fuck that one up because he missed that one in the goddamn beginning.
It's okay. Mending Me.
Mending Me, which I have both of them at the house. All right, we're also joined by used to be disruptor, now social commentator and host of Trap Karaoke and panelist on Listen to Black Men, which we are going to be doing today on this podcast. Mouse Jones.
How y'all doing? And
then rounding it up, we have co-host of the Joe Budden podcast and real estate guru. Let's just go ahead and add that into your title. We have Ish joining us. And again, we're going to be holding the conversation as well as, do we still got mic'd up over there, my producer?
Yeah.
All right, well, A-King I don't think is fully on a mic, but we have Jason over there. Hey, yo, sorry. Yo, chill out. We're not pausing out the gate.
Let's keep that part of patriarchy, please.
We are not pausing out of the gate. So guys, based on my kind of hot takes and where we stand on all of this, do we have any pushback or where we don't?
I have a question.
Okay, here we go.
What did the emotional have to do with the financial?
Oh, I think there's a huge play in it. Like, to me,
give me an example of how you can't expect one if you need the other.
I mean, the example right now is that I'd rather cry in a Rolls Royce than a Honda. We literally have the narrative right now that women are willing to put up with a lot more bullshit if they are provided a certain lifestyle. If a man is paying all the bills, they'll put up with a lot more 100%. Lack of emotional intelligence from their man or needs from them because he's showing up provisionally with finances.
Oh, because I took it the wrong way. I thought you were saying that we can't expect them to have like emotions and want them to pay for stuff.
Oh, I'll be honest with you. I think a lot of men, if they lead with their money, bitch, go cry on your friend's shoulder.
I think that. I think together y'all are saying the same thing.
No, I was asking. I didn't.
No, but I think even in that she's saying that.
But do you disagree?
I don't.
As discussed in chapter 1, a man and the man is for money.
I want somebody who's emotionally available and spend some money.
Have you gotten both?
Because that's who I'm choosing.
Okay.
But not before because I didn't care.
Do you nurture a space for someone to be emotionally available while
while handout?
Well, I don't even care about the handout part. Like when you have a demand for someone to be emotionally available, that means you have to be responsible for their emotional availability. So are you, and a lot of times, I won't say a lot of times because that's a crazy statement, even though we're here for hot take. Like, I won't say a lot of times. I have noticed that sometimes women will ask for an emotional available man, but won't create a space or won't maintain a space, right? It's not your job to create it, but it is your job to maintain a space for emotional availability. So if
I
you're
mean,
not
I
doing
don't know what that looks like for everybody. You know, personally, me, I feel like I do. I never really had guys tell me that I don't. If anything, that's how they've always like gotten so deep with me, because I do. Like, I'm digging into you. I'm pulling back the layers. I'm very, very deep. Okay. So guys really fall in love with that, and that's how I actually get the money.
They will.
Yeah. If you create a safe space, we'll spend that money.
Exactly, because now they really fuck with me.
It's not a money issue at that point. Yeah. Right? Like, if you create a safe space.
They think I deserve it then. Like, once
or you're just not here for it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, I think that, like, my stances on the money things are a little different than most people.
Because you got a lot.
Minimal, very minimal. But, yo, I'm not spending money on women. That's not my thing. I think that
like to what level? Yeah. Like where we
if we reach a certain place, if we reach
I want to know the level.
I don't spend money on women.
If we reach a certain place, I got myself
a ticket to this movie. I'm waiting for you to.
If we reach a certain place, the sky's the limit. But I'm not starting out conversations. I'm not starting out friendships. I'm not starting out any level of entanglement with.
But does that look like, okay, I meet you, we start dealing with each other, I'll pay for us going on dates, but I'm not giving you money to get your hair done?
I'm not giving you money for friendship. We in a place.
But the dating part and stuff you'll pay for.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So you'll court somebody, but you're not going to pay for the companionship.
Women today will be like, yo, I got to get a babysitter. You got to pay for my babysitter. And they put a premium on that.
Yeah. See, but it's not. But this is the thing.
I mean, you think that's wrong? Tough. That you want, like, that you're not that a woman is even asking for you to. I think
that
it is. We
are in a place. Yes, we are in a place where I shouldn't have to pay you to date you. Yeah. I should. So listen, if we are, and this is where we get into all of the mishap. We have overvalued. Pardon my French. Pussy is worth more than dick in society.
What?
And is
right?
Worth how?
Oh,
because women put a premium on their pussy price.
Okay.
We ain't getting paid for dick. Women almost feel entitled to pay for my pussy.
Don't do this.
Who's not getting paid for that?
Pardon me, man. I'm just saying, like,
there was a time where I wasn't on Amazon, my boy.
No. You were stealing out of purses.
All right, you were.
Stealing out of purses
is crazy. Stole.
You paid for the dick.
She paid for it. She definitely paid.
That's crazy.
We disagreeing with that?
Okay, no, I disagree. One thing, and I don't know, I might be kind of agreeing with you, but not really. I always joke and say that I have penis envy, right? Because I say that men could live for free and women cannot. Like, men will literally be able to go live at a woman's crib, drive her car.
Women.
Have you met?
That's not true.
Have you met?
No. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen for women.
So there was a woman in California that just looked up right now.
Somebody in the grave jumped up like, what?
The crazy thing is, men can do it and get all of the perks and not even be having sex.
Yeah, but no.
I know men who will not.
Men who do that. So what I will acknowledge is, yes, men can do that. Yes. There's a lot more work that goes into it, and there's a definitive time date. There's a time date because a woman will get annoyed with a man not doing nothing, being a bum, way quicker than a man would even notice that a woman's being a bum.
Let me ask you a question. If I lost everything today, didn't have no money, or I was living with somebody that kicked me out, do you think that I have mad dudes that I could go and live with for the rest of the year versus a man can do it for the rest of the year?
It depends how
with girls he does or does not even like.
It depends on how you carried the first half of that year.
Fuck all that. It depends on what that mouth do.
Oh my God.
My mouth don't do a good job.
Well, no. You will be homeless.
You in the shelter.
You will be homeless.
Now, you and that bad mouth will be on the side of the road.
Conversely, for that dude, because there are people, it's a meme. It's memes running around. Brooklyn or North. They say, yo, Brooklyn or North nigga and a Pennsylvania girl.
Okay.
Right? And they'll go find, no disrespect to anybody, to fight the fat white RN from Pennsylvania, and homeboy will be shacked up, and homeboy got a 14-inch dick, eating Cheerios all day, laying on the couch.
Not the Honey Nut Cheerios.
But that's the trade-off. He not going to find Halle Berry, and Halle Berry's taking him in.
I mean,
he's going to find somebody that he may not be physically attracted to. He may not have anything in common with, and he just a hobosexual.
I think. So you never heard the stereotype that the corporate women always have the bums?
No.
I think I see what's going on.
That's not true.
I think I see what's going on. I think we have to.
I know it and see it.
We gotta live in the real world. That's what it is, right? Like, how many of these things are we experiencing? How many things are we seeing? How much of this is like hyperbole?
Yes.
Like, in real life, I think there's a middle ground between what we're all talking about, and that's where we're actually living.
Let me get everyone's take then. Before we jump into the real world, do you believe that we should uphold or dismantle the patriarchy for what we know it to be?
I believe you should wear dresses like this. In 10 years, I've never seen you wear as much clothes.
You know what?
You want to try to conform and wear a dress for this episode?
I think patriarchy sucks and put a sleeve on. I hate patriarchy. Let me cover my thighs.
Yo,
Me and Jezebel,
Did you just say me and Jezebel?
Mandy dressed like she called women harlots. The harlotry is here.
Oh, man.
No, I'm not gonna lie. We talking patriarchy, and they're like, "Oh no, go put that leather on, bitch. Go ahead and rip for the hose." We can cover.
She left y'all hoes at home today, boy. Should have heard what her patriarchal thoughts on Angel Reese. She didn't want to cancel that. Nah, boy.
Don't do
that.
So where do y'all stand? Cutty, we'll start with you. Just give me, do you want to uphold the patriarchy and do you believe it's beneficial even today, or do you want to dismantle it?
Definitions up there if you need
The
to see
definition is right
Does
there.
that like include like gender roles and stuff?
Yes.
I believe in gender roles.
So you want to uphold the patriarchy?
It's your show.
You want
To a degree.
To a degree.
Yeah, I do believe in gender roles.
I'm gonna sound cheesy, man.
He's like, I'm a feminist.
I almost threw up.
Oh, you hate that word?
Keep that away from me. All them Justin Bieber. No, all right. You can't throw it out because then the world will crumble.
Damn.
Like
we just can't live without you.
No, see, we're not talking about men. We're talking about the system in which patriarchy could. So there's women that are in charge that uphold patriarchy. Like, patriarchy isn't upheld by just men. It's a system. It was indoctrinated and normalized by men. And then for those who want to survive and thrive in it, they take up a place. So there's patriarchy today is probably upheld more by people who don't identify with the forefounders and the foundationalists of patriarchy, but they want to survive and thrive in it. So that's how you have all right, I'm being a good person, so I don't want to misgender them. That's how you have someone like a Caitlyn Jenner running for the, standing with the Republicans, standing behind Trump, who fundamentally stands against everything that she exists as, right?
Yeah.
That's how you have black men voting for Trump and just having these like anti-black theories.
And them not believing that a woman can run the
Exactly.
country.
So
even though there's been other countries
ran by women, right?
women.
So it's like, so patriarchy is upheld by more than just men, more than just white men, right? It's also a system that has upheld America since its indoctrination. So tomorrow we can't open the door and be like, no more patriarchy. It's impossible. The world will crumble.
You agree, Ish?
But there does need to be some foundational changes to patriarchy and some challenges.
So uphold, dismantle, uphold.
No, I'm torn, but I'll probably lean more toward tear it down.
Okay.
But I'm torn because a lot of people that'll say tear it down, they say tear it down where it's beneficial for them, but uphold it where it's beneficial for them.
Right.
So the same quote,
call me out.
The same quote unquote feminists that preach all of the bullshit be the same ones that say men should be providers. So you can't say that we should tear this stuff down and I also have to provide for you, because that provision feeds into a system of patriarchy.
So I want to lean into there. Do we have the hook of it all? I mean, the hook is kind of patriarchy as a whole. So we can. I would say over the last 3 to 5 years, more than not, I would say with the Kevin Samuels, with the Fresh and Fits, with the push of all of our voices on social media and these goddamn podcast mics, I think this conversation has been one that seems to be regurgitated without much thought and not much practice. I know you coach and literally have calls with women all day that literally contradict and are hypocrites of what they do and kind of what they want. I think for me, even listening to what you just said, I actually am fully into the dismantling of it, but from a privileged place. Now. I
was about to say, 5 years ago, Mandy would have said, fuck that.
I am in a privileged place as a woman to be able to provide for myself and to not seek financial security or shelter from a man.
Gotcha.
Which in my 20s, having survival sex and only fucking with niggas that I got money and this from, or I wanted a lot less came from the place of me not having money and through generations understanding that there can be a price here, and this is what can get me into whatever the patriarchal foundation of me being able to exist as a woman. But now that I make my own money, I love that I can choose a partner and not need a partner.
Gotcha.
And I think that that's been also the difficulty with communicating that with men, because men still want to be needed. There's no way that this world can exist without women needing men to lead.
It's vice versa.
We're specifically talking about I'm my fault, brother.
Yes.
We're specifically talking about patriarchy in the realm of dating.
I would say overall, like I do believe like a woman can run a business, but I think there are better women leaders than Trump, who's now president. I think it's certain CEOs that women would be better at the job than men. So we could go from business, but also in relationships.
Do you think you would? And this is completely, with all due respect. Do you think that you would have the platform you would have if patriarchy didn't exist?
I mean, I think
because if patriarchy didn't exist, then women wouldn't be shunned for sexual practices. They wouldn't be shunned for wanting to explore their sexual practice. So then there would almost not be a need for a voice like you and your partners.
So no, let's be very clear.
Disrupt.
The idea of us dismantling that and reclaiming that word was a part of the foundational premise of starting Horrible Decisions. I mean, to be fair too, even our ideals on what a relationship looks like in non-monogamy. I think you brought up even our founding fathers and what America is built on. I think that's the huge problem. Like, celebrating even Thanksgiving is just a whole bunch of colonizers that were rebels from the UK that wanted to come over and start their own shit and leaned into the church, which we know as black people was hypocritical in the way they treated us, yet they wanted you should treat your neighbor how you would want to be treated. They didn't treat black people that way. And I think a lot of the way in which we view marriage and relationships now is rooted in some bullshit Christianity and Catholic views that I think are absolutely outdated and bullshit. Because let's be very clear, everybody fucking now before marriage. People are having kids out of wedlock. Like there's all these other ways in which we excuse moving away from the church, while then we still want to lean into it for the patriarchal means of gender roles and how we should show up.
But that's what I was saying. That's why I asked specifically, right? Because when we go down that slope, you got to stop at every ring to acknowledge it, right? You can't just shoot down and we're like, yeah, get rid of patriarchy. That means niggas are going to be better than women. No, that's why I don't want to be that guy, but like that's kind of right. There's so many webs and there's so many branches that lean into everything. Everything you just said was completely valid, but we got to deal with them one by one or we'll just be in a vacuum.
And there's a physical component that you can't deny.
What's the physical component? Because y'all not building houses no more.
Who not?
You are real estate dude.
Oh my God, is you building houses?
Well, all the girls are doing the DIY on the
I was about to say, nigga, we gotta call Thumbtack because our boyfriends can't hang up shelves.
No, because I want a patriarchy. He's at work.
Do better. Do better.
Actually, it's not. Sometimes it's not even the work part. They would just be like, I ain't fucking doing that.
I am him.
Yo, so again,
I'm him.
Those are the guys that you guys are picking.
Yeah.
Right? So
also, there's nothing wrong with that.
And I'm cool with it. I personally don't say anything.
I'm just saying that the nigga that make $500,000 a year
might
not know how to run cable.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm fine
Like,
with
y'all,
that.
you can't get everything. And that's some of the things that there's going to be some concessions. But back to my physical point was, dog, when the nigga break in your house at 3 a.m, who gets up to go downstairs?
Oh no, I have a gun now because I live in Georgia.
Who gets up to go downstairs when you laying in your bed with your man?
Pow.
You're not going to tell Keith to stay asleep and you
Not
go downstairs.
Keith.
You're not gonna be Tomb Raider.
So all of these, Laura.
You're gonna be like, the gun is underneath the pillow.
All
I'm
of those
the
things play a
lioness.
part
I mean,
in
the
that.
sad part is that a lot of us live alone. You know, like
If there's an option,
saying,
if you laying in a bed with a man,
yeah,
who is by default, when y'all hear the clank downstairs, who got to get the fuck up and go downstairs and confront the burglar?
I want to go back though to what Cutty just said. The reality of it is too though, we are paying our own bills and live alone. So
It's not.
You missing his point.
No, I know
missing
you're saying.
his point.
I get if a man is there, who gets up and goes.
I mean,
What is
y'all
your
still have
desire?
yet
He's
to
asking.
answer though.
He's asking you.
My desire is not to be getting robbed at gunpoint.
Fam, if somebody's downstairs
Yes.
and they are breaking in your home, by default, who the fuck has to go face the burglar?
That is
I
the
mean,
fault of y'all
I'll just
and the
say
patriarchy.
yes.
Like the patriarchy said it's y'all. The patriarchy said if there's a snake in the yard, the man has to go kill it. The patriarchy said those things, but that's what I'm saying. You don't have to. If you a pussy, if I date a nigga who might be a little pussy
Right.
and I'm not, and I got a
Right.
gun,
Yeah.
I think that's where it's fine for me to go and shoot that. Mind you,
We're
there
not
was just
talking
who was
about
the rapper? Who was
outliers.
the
We're
rapper?
talking
but who
about-
said they're outliers?
Y'all date a little pussy
Dirt.
nigga?
You said what?
Y'all date a little pussy nigga? You just said
I ain't
But
gonna
it
lie,
could be a hood
I
chick
might want a
dating
little man who's a little
a corporate
submissive from
dude.
time to time, a little switch.
Patriarchy.
You-
You're
What?
subscribing to patriarchy.
How?
You're calling him pussy.
No.
Which means you're identifying his lack of physical prowess
In a
as
systemic
a
way.
defining of his character. He's pussy. Now listen,
You know what's crazy?
I
You know
call
what's
niggas
crazy?
pussy all the time.
I think pussy is the strongest.
Nah, not no, you didn't call that nigga pussy. You did not say. You did not empower. He did not call him empowering pussy.
Okay,
You
you
called
got
him
me.
devaluing pussy.
Devaluing.
You
You
got
said, "Oh nigga, you ain't about to go shoot that nigga. You are the strongest
You a
thing in the
bitch.
world.
And
you bring life."
When that nigga grab my ass in the club, lose my number, you bitch ass nigga, because you ain't do nothing.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Well, it's
I'm
because I
just saying
can't fight
which
a
way-
guy because
Why?
nigga straight.
Because
Like
there's a
that's
physical component there.
Well, no, that's why I also believe that
But I also
trans
don't-
people shouldn't play in sports that they just
let's
identify.
stay
But that's
where we at. Let's stay where we at.
I'm just trying.
Please let's stay where we at. I can't.
Like,
I'm already gonna have to defend this one.
Like, dog, it's a power dynamic. And I
Okay.
think that the people in power keep things status quo so that they can remain in power. I think that's the
Yes.
same with patriarchy, racism, classism,
It's all
all
one.
of these other divisive
Yeah.
things.
It's all one.
I think that it's just a power dynamic. And the people in power keep these things like this on purpose.
But what I will say, bro, we have to get to a point where the only way we can honestly describe our value outside of an extreme hyperbole.
I think
If somebody's
that's
coming in the house
America's
and my bed-
extreme. I think we.
No.
we-
I'm saying men gotta do better. That's what I'm saying.
No, I agree.
I'm saying
Let's
like, we
tear it
gotta
down.
be better than our only value is yo. But if a nigga come in the house,
Wait.
like nigga, why you not? All right, there's no threat to my life. Can you still be a good person to me?
No,
you get what I'm saying?
I think
I
two things could coexist. I'm saying that some of the things come from a power dynamic.
Yeah.
Right? There's a power dynamic. Because when women say protect and provide, those are the two words that they damn
No,
near
that men-
relegate
that men-
us to.
No.
Two fucking things.
Yes, but,
So let me
but men
ask-
started
But
that
that's because
foundation.
there's a point where men
I have an
stop
example.
protecting and providing.
I don't think so.
No,
Wait,
it had
nah,
to be there because
I don't think
I'm
so.
sorry,
Real
Kyle,
quick, I have an example because I want to
I'll
know
come
y'all
back to
take
that.
on this because this is kind of like I got two different opinions from guys, right? So I took the express bus the other day. This is the bus
Oh,
drivers.
child, patriarchy needs to.
I did
Did you
because
take the bus to patriarchy?
listen, it
Uber
is.
was. I'm sorry.
You took the express bus.
Yes, I
Okay.
took the express bus.
How did you know it was express? There's so many things I'm. Okay,
No,
look,
it's
what's the difference between a bus and an express bus?
It's $7.
Oh.
It's an express bus.
Then they charge you for the bus? No.
Listen,
Ghetto.
listen. The
I would walk.
$70-something garages, all of that stuff. I took my ass on the express bus. Okay, I said I'll take an Uber home. Now, got on the bus. the bus driver was like, oh, I know who you are. You ain't follow me back. Something, something, something. Fast forward. I'm like, okay, whatever. See him again. He's like, you ain't follow me. I'm like,
So you took the bus twice.
yeah, I did. God damn.
I'm observant.
Okay. So, fast forward. I check my DM one day, and he says, "Can you fuck me?" And I tell one.
He seen you on that bus. Thought you
You
was
on the bus. Yo, you on the bus. You can't be picky, mama.
Mind you.
Nigga said she was on the express
It was my preference to
He don't know
take
that.
the bus.
Oh, man.
You was like every other broke girl get on that bus. You was like, get your ass in the back.
He should be able to tell about my page, but it's what I want to do. I'm a New Yorker. I could
Okay.
take the bus. We take the train.
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't.
I take the train. Millionaires take train. I never seen millionaires get on the bus.
The express bus is way better than the fucking bum ass train.
My
There
bad.
you go.
The express bus.
Actually,
And it costs
Well, let me tell you this. A conductor has never DM'd me and said, "Can you fuck me?"
Yo, just jumped in my shit. Ain't know how you doing.
Conductor
nothing.
knows better.
Did you respond?
no. So my response was, I'm about to go ham on this nigga, right? Like I'm about to go crazy. So one dude is like, ready to go to war. Like where he at? Like what time was that? Like, and another guy said, nah, don't say nothing to him. And I'm like, It took me aback that the guy was like, no, don't say nothing to him because I don't want you to go too crazy on him and then anything happen to you or whatever.
Why would that surprise you?
Because she wanted war.
No, because first of all, at bare minimum, my response was gonna be like, if I ever saw him again, like, don't you ever fucking talk to me like that again. I will fucking get you fired, bitch. Like, don't talk. I don't give a fuck. Like, who the fuck do you think I am? Like, I was ready to go crazy because why are you DMing me that? Like, I don't give a fuck if you seen me on the internet, on the bus. So I don't care. I didn't say more than like 10 words to you in life. Why are you talking to me like that? So then the other guy telling me that I shouldn't talk to him like that or I shouldn't say that to him was the one who was like, don't,
The cooler head.
Huh?
The cooler head
But I just
was there.
kind of felt like that was pussy.
So you
that's not
you
emotional
like the man.
intelligence.
You like the man that also.
That's not emotional
it's
intelligence?
Not. It's, don't do this.
No, for me, it was like,
Look,
it's not that I
He's
expected
providing.
him to do anything. I just wanted to be able to say what I wanted to say to
The
him.
emotional intelligent man tells you that this person is not worth you even raising your temperature over.
He also thought
He's a
about your
nigga that
safety.
drives a bus that you're not gonna ever see
Nah, she gonna
outside of
get
your
on that
multi-bus
bus.
trips.
And I think that's what it was.
Might get on
I
the
would,
bus
I
again.
would walk on a nigga's bus and not even acknowledge that his existence and go sit in my seat. He can't get a conversation, a hello, a nothing from me.
I want to curse him out.
But I think in that moment, the second gentleman, he took your safety into account more
that.
than the first guy did.
All of that.
well, you brought up the emotional intelligence of that, but I wanted to bring it back to Mouse. Mouse, you stated that men stopped protecting and providing.
Yes, yes.
When Ish mentioned it.
So I think everything is there's no issue in this world that was created by just happenstance. No one ever was just sitting in a room and was like, yeah, let's do that. Right? There was a void and someone decided to fill the void. Even, it's ugly. Even when we talk about the way and I'm just breaking it down to the most basic level.
Sure.
Even when we talk about the American version of slavery, right? When we talk about that Western civilization version of slavery, that Atlantic slave trade, the reason it was so grotesque and ugly, there was a need. Okay, we need to make money. We need to get labor. How do we do that? Oh, let's take these people's liberty
We're gonna beat them into submission.
Right. So I say that to
Wow,
start out that
men
ugly.
do a little bit of that too.
I started out that ugly to just break
No,
it down.
I'm
right?
agreeing.
I get it.
So,
I'm agreeing with you
the
1000%.
fact that we see women constantly talking about the lack of protection, demanding provision, there was a time where somebody stopped protecting and providing.
Both things are true. So throughout this progression, I think that women have become more masculine out of, hear me out, dog, you're going to agree with me. Masculinity is not a bad thing. Every man, every woman has a level of masculinity and a level
Yes.
of femininity in them.
Yeah.
Women have had to become hyper masculine because black men are leaving their households to fend for themselves.
Oh, so this is
Right.
where you're
Oh.
taking this.
So to your point,
Okay.
a void is now there.
Yeah.
Because men are leaving their households. And now women have no choice but to generate more money and do all of these other things, take out the garbage, fix the ceiling fan, do all the shit that was traditionally man shit. Women have no choice but to do it because now they are single and they raising children, et cetera, et cetera.
I agree with that.
And then those daughters and those sons, though, especially the daughters, follow suit and say, I saw my mother struggle. I saw my mother struggle and I saw what she went through. I'm never gonna need no man. And that's where that quote comes from. I don't need no man because I saw what my mother did. So now I'm gonna get 77 degrees. I'm gonna do all of this shit so that financially I never have to quote unquote need a man.
I don't think that it's about I agree with that. A percentage of it is not that I don't need it. I never experienced it. I don't know.
True. That's
you know?
no. But so
Go to
I was going to address Mouse's point. I think that men have never stopped providing and protecting. I think that especially in our demo, in our community, we stopped getting married. You don't see a man that's married not protect his family.
Yeah.
You don't see a man that's married not really provide for his
That's
family
not
if
true.
capable.
That's not true at all.
I said
He's
if
talking-
capable.
he's talking about-
and
okay.
we generally speaking, I'm not talking
If
about.
capable is still in his capability or not.
But again, I don't think that. I don't think
What?
that. Yeah, I don't know.
Nah.
Meaning, like,
It's press
it's
buses
up
for me.
to him.
It's up to him.
Like,
how
he didn't
there's a
make
lot of
it
men that aren't
possible.
showing up.
If
No,
he's
he's
physically
saying right. So we're capable. He's speaking to
Like they
capability.
handicapped?
Yes, that's what he's talking about.
Not even that. Listen to this. I don't know. And you guys, I don't want to talk about the outliers because we can find something that contradicts everything.
Correct.
What I'm talking about is generally speaking, a man, a woman, a family, that man is just not out here saying, yo, fuck that, I ain't doing nothing.
So you know what's
That
crazy?
is a very small amount of men.
So I
You
will
can't-
say I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of family members. I have sisters. Of all of my friends right now, with babies ranging from less than a year to 17, they are getting zero help from their fathers financially
Do
for
they
these
live in the
children.
That's
household?
still. I get what you're saying.
Do they live in a household?
But so this
my,
is
my point
this
was
is a
that
problem
people
with me.
that live with their families
okay, I get what he's saying.
are not just
yeah,
not
yeah, those are
protecting
two
and
different
providing
He's
for their
saying that
family.
they're not doing
Okay.
that.
He said what he's basically saying is no nigga is sitting in that house watching his family go under. He's saying no niggas doing
Or just
that.
outliers,
watching
there are
his
outliers.
woman
Outli-
get.
he's saying the outliers.
How do we know that those are the outliers
Well, because
when
you'd
that's
have to
what
judge-
we
'cause you'd
see
have
in
to judge-
majority?
That's not
You'd
what
have
I
to judge.
see.
You'd have to judge by the numbers.
But
also.
that's what I'm saying. Like, how do we know what is
Most
the
of your
majority
female
of
friends' husbands don't do shit.
Well,
Let her not talk about her friends'
no,
husbands.
you have to. Because
no.
She says she's what she sees.
Okay.
Let's say out of
Not-
five friends who are married, let's say 3 or 4 of the 5, the woman is the breadwinner.
That's a That doesn't mean the
That doesn't
man does
mean
not
he's not
provide
providing.
nor
Oh, well,
protect.
he's not doing that either.
And that's how y'all classify provision now. It's just
Well,
who makes the
yeah.
most money
Okay.
is the biggest provider, and that's not true.
Yeah,
No,
he got you there.
Okay,
Fam,
I
that's
agree with
not true. These CEO women, they got Mr. Mom at home that's doing the homework with the kids.
Yeah.
They fucking cooking for the kids. They driving the kids to soccer practice and ballet
That is a
school,
pro- a
and they doing
provision
all
is
these
being
other
made.
things. That is provision.
And it is
Good dick
it
is
challenging.
provision. Foot rubs.
I was
Good dick is provision?
Yes,
I was
I'm providing you with a sexual pleasure. Y'all think pussy is provision? Y'all think when y'all give a nigga pussy, y'all providing something for him?
Well,
Other
okay,
than a
hold on,
bill.
hold
I
on,
think
hold
I'm
on, hold
like-
on.
It's equal.
No. Do you want to know the problem with that? It's literally where we place what we want. Like, men will do whatever they need to do to get pussy.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree. It's modern day prostitution. And we wonder why these
but
relationships are crumbling because there's prostitution.
Remove the word prostitution because there's a negative connotation to it.
No, it's not.
There is.
Yes, it
There
is.
is a negative
Time out.
connotation to
Yeah,
it.
but he's talking about in context.
We grown in this room.
So in context, men cannot be mad when women place this value on a vagina.
I agree with you.
When men,
You are
when
moving
what
the
they want.
byproduct.
goalposts. Nobody
That's a
ever
byproduct.
said.
I don't
That's
think
a
it's
byproduct.
prostitution. I think it's transaction.
Nobody. That's a
Well, that's
prostitution.
prostitution.
Nobody ever said it's a bad thing. I
But
said men are
she's not
providing.
This is not
selling
my.
it.
Y'all
This is
moving.
not my take, but I understand what he. This is not my take.
I want to
Please,
finish. I want to
Let
finish.
it go.
Yo,
Land
if
the
you come
plane.
home after a long day's work and that man rubs your feet till you damn near fall asleep, he is providing something for you.
That is a provision.
What are you talking about?
It might not
This
be
nigga
high up.
rubs your back. If he runs your bath water, he puts the rose petals and the Epsom salt in there.
got
That's
that before?
provision.
Yeah, I mean, I have.
Okay.
But from a narcissist.
So what I'm telling you is, we are only
Nobody said
grouping-
narcissists wasn't providers.
Yeah. Yo, a lot of them are the biggest providers. And they are narcissistic because I'm providing XYZ, bitch, you do what I say.
I ain't never get the bathtub with the rose petals. Now I ain't gonna.
That might-
Oh no, I got the
You ain't
massage. I
gonna
ain't
get
get the
that.
Yo,
rose.
step,
You ain't gonna get that on the express bus, baby. You ain't gonna get that on the express bus.
step your game up. But
Yo,
back to what I'm saying, like, yo, we keep putting the
somebody take
money
a bus a
piece.
couple of times.
In our culture, yo, the money piece is dominating relationships, unfortunately.
No, okay, we gotta stop there.
Well, that's because
Hold on,
finances
wait,
is the number one
that's
cause
where
of
Right.
divorce in America.
Hold on, we
Money
got
does buy happiness.
We
Like,
have to stop there, right there, right? Like when we say like these blanket terms, like, "Oh, this is ruining culture," it's not. It is control. What it is it's controlling a portion of culture that lives specifically online, that interacts online. There's a lot of people that have like funny tweets or engaging or like enthralling tweets that don't live that life. So it's like, you know, it's the I would liken it to the theory to the example of when women tweet, "I hate men." But not my nigga.
They laid up
you
right
get what I'm
next to
saying?
one.
So what I'm saying is, I don't think that's destroying our culture because you have to. What we have to abide by is something that's irrefutable, and numbers are irrefutable. And in America, black families are still thriving. Black men are still marrying women at a rate of 80%. Black men that make over 250,000 are still marrying black
just be
women.
throwing- what's your
So like
source?
the numbers are still like these.
Where's your source?
Pull it up.
But
One thing Mouse ain't never gonna do is talk no bullshit.
But what does that have to do with
What I'm saying,
the
it doesn't
overall-
affect the culture.
No.
I'm saying it affects the
That's
culture because
wrong.
you could talk about it on TV.
Know why it's affecting the culture? Because it may not affect certain age demos. But now what's being led in these 20-something-year-olds and these 30-year-olds is no romance without finance. That is damn near something that these younger... Yo, when we was... How old are you?
I'm 35.
See, it's different. When I was young, right? I'm
50?
48.
Younger.
I'm 48. When I was younger, yo, girls going to Poconos was a thing. Girls going to the Virginia Beach was a thing.
Yeah.
These
Sorry that
21-year-old
we have
girls.
passports now.
Take me to the
listen.
Poconos, nigga.
Dog.
You was on the express bus, right?
Word.
You
Yo,
gotta take a shuttle to
the
get in.
20-year-olds, my nigga, are going to Mykonos.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
20-year-olds are going to Bali and going to all of these places.
Yeah.
And the average 20-year-old boy cannot afford to do those things and provide for them. So they're looking for that provision elsewhere, typically in an older man.
Okay. So,
Wait, what are we looking at? Hold on.
85.
No, it's 85%
Here's the 85%.
of married black men. Not
That's what I was talking
85% of black men are married.
Yeah.
There's
say
a
that.
No,
difference.
if you
That's
go
not what
at
he
the-
said.
if-
No,
Yes, he
85%
did.
If you go to the top-
To black women.
That's what he said.
That's what I'm talking about. Like that's what I'm saying. It's not.
and-
what I'm
and-
saying.
He
So
said
look, if you say
80%
about 30,
of black men are
36% of black
married.
men right now, if you look at that 30, now you have to break down that 36%.
Yes,
okay, if you
yes,
look
yes.
at this 36%, all right, let's look at that 100% of that 36%
85% of
and break
those
it down.
men are married
You
to
get what I'm
black
saying?
women. Yeah, married to
So
black women.
That's
Okay.
my take. My take is I stand on the side of I don't think it's affecting culture. I think it's affecting conversation. Conversation that people don't know how to say, oh, this lives here and this lives here.
You know what two stats we missed out on
Which
that
one?
board? And I don't even gotta look over there no more. Today, only 35% of black men are married.
Yeah, it said that
Yeah, he
right
said
there.
that.
And it said in
We
19.
only represent 13% of the
Yeah.
I
right.
don't, I'm
No,
talking
we're
about
talking as a whole.
100% of black men.
yeah.
Not
Of the
what, not what we
13%.
make up in America.
yeah.
Okay.
100% of black men.
Wait,
Only
wait.
today, 35% of those
You
men are
saying you're
married.
not talking about in America?
No,
He's
I'm not.
talking about
He's talking
black
about
I'm
men.
not talking about the American population. I'm talking about just the black population.
Of
Black men.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's
Right?
that's I was
Boom.
asking so I had
In
context.
1950, 64% of black men were married.
Mm-hmm.
It is affecting culture. we
No,
are no,
no,
longer
no,
getting
stop.
married.
I gotta challenge that because that's an actual fact. So in 1950, there were no Jim Crow laws yet. There were these draconian RICO cases were not drawn up yet. These things that ravaged the black community throughout the 1980s.
It was Jim Crow in 1950.
No, what Jim Crow?
But it wasn't-
The Jim Crow. I'm telling Jim Crow law didn't come into effect. I think that was 1950.
Can we look up Jim Crow
It don't
laws?
matter.
Six or seven. What
I
I'm
see your
saying,
point. I see
there
your
are
point.
other things. There are other things that affect that, right? So 64% of black men that were married in 1950, you have to adjust for the fact that of that 64%, 35% ain't alive when we get to 2019 to even be or the.
They're talking about the available population.
No, they're
So,
not. No,
yeah.
it's
No,
there's
hold
no way. this is my challenge. There would be no way to accurately account for that. They're just talking about the black men that obviously the one they can poll, right? The ones that were available to be polled in 1950, 64% of them were married. Cool. How many of that is coming listen to what I'm saying. How many of that is coming right out of the Great Migration? How many of that is coming right out of the slavery being I don't even think that's what I was about to be like. I don't even think Juneteenth was a thing yet. But 1950, there was available black men in the black community. When you get to 1978, that has already changed because they had already started drafting up these laws that the drug law that unequivocally affect black men. So you put in more black men in jail. You killing more black men.
If we're also going to the 1970s, hold on. I want to
because the 70s have
by the way, before
black
Mandy gets his point,
but not only that,
Mouse is making a good point. But just for the education of our audience, Jim Crow laws effectively ended in the 1960s, and then it became probably more like policy things.
Right, but I want to go back to
that means in the 50s they were
leaning back into what a relationship entails. If we're still leaning into the patriarchy in the 1970s as well. 1974, women were able to have their own bank accounts. They started seeing positions, C-suite positions within the 80s and 90s. No, if we look into where women then no longer needed to live with a man, like a woman couldn't even have a bank account without being married.
Economics plays a huge part in this whole system.
And if we're
talking
about
like I said before.
And if we are talking about our own community, this is where I do believe there was a huge push of men to be removed out of the household with welfare and black, like, what ish?
That was later on.
No, in the 90s. I'm going from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s. Why?
I hate the example because I think
so real quick. A lot of the my house included.
Patriarchy right now.
Yeah, my house included. If they came to your house and even saw
the man,
a man size shoe, you no longer got Section 8. You no longer got the benefits of welfare if they knew that a man was in the home. So unfortunately,
rightfully so.
Right. So unfortunately, black men who may not have been getting hired due to their race or due to their criminal convictions or due to their lack of education, they weren't even providing. So many women were leading into government assistance to aid in their raising a family instead of having a man in the household.
But what do we think that it is now?
It's just spill out from there. Those issues were never healed. Time just kept going.
Right.
So so to say what's the issue now? The same issue that was going on then. But do I think there's also some willful ignorance that men are saying, I ain't gonna do this and I ain't gonna do that? I think that exists as well, right? I know I'm gonna sound like the guy whose takes are mid, but it doesn't exist on either extreme, right? There's this place in the middle that we gotta get to the middle to figure out what that issue is.
The middle is the biggest part.
And that issue is a little amalgamation of everything. It's an amalgamation from everything I was talking to Ish about. It's what you're out talking about and what I'm pretty sure y'all have experienced from it. All that shit, you get that in the middle and you're like, oh, we gotta start unlacing this shit, right? Y'all want to unless we throw the whole sneaker out, right?
No.
If you got a knot in that sneaker, you could sit here and fix it, unlace it, or you just throw the whole sneaker out.
But the biggest part, the biggest part of what he said, and this is the biggest piece for all of the shit. Nobody is willing to hold themselves accountable. Right. So when you said we got to start taking the laces out the sneaker, that's a process of accountability and self-reflection to see where we fucked up at.
Of course.
Right? You know what we do? We blame the system. The system played a part in us being fucked up.
Yeah.
White people played a part in us being fucked up. So what?
Yeah.
Fam, they did what they did. We can't go to the white people that broke us and expect for them to fix us. It's never gonna fucking happen. So now we gotta look into ourselves and say, these things are fucked up. I don't care how they got fucked up. Let's fix them. So when you start talking that welfare shit, that's where I start to disagree with.
But I get it. But and I do want to get into hypothetical me and hypothetical you because I got a tweet from you too. Again, if we want to, and I guess this goes into you and I essentially wanting to overthrow it or dismantle it. The problem is a lot of this shit is rooted in what we've seen, how we've grown up, and it takes a lot of deprogramming and unlearning a lot of the things that unfortunately we've learned. So to reprogram, which is why we see a lot of the older women dating younger, is because a lot of the older men are stuck into their ways, and you don't want to teach an old dog new tricks. True. And the younger generation is more open to non-monogamy, changing the ways they think. I can blame the pandemic and people sitting. I can blame the internet. We've been exposed to way more as a younger generation to be open to actually changing the way in which we
to think for ourselves.
I do want to get into hypothetical me, hypothetical you.
Set it up again. Hypocritical.
Hypocritical, not hypothetical. Sorry, bitch. I almost couldn't even really read it. Okay, hypocritical me, hypocritical you. I pulled some tweets for this. None of Sir Mouse Jones, because he is an outstanding citizen. However,
won't catch me out here. Won't catch me on the express bus of Twitter.
So if you could scroll up,
I just caught that.
This is
High
me.
level, baby.
This is me responding to a tweet. Shout out to Crew Season. They said that women will gamble on potential. Men need to see finished products before we commit. What? One moment. So this was
somebody
their take.
Somebody that don't believe what they say. Somebody that doesn't believe what they say. Somebody that wears $30 worth of fake jewelry every
has to
post. I'm like, oh, y'all trust this nigga? This is fake jewelry.
Can you not talk about?
My bad.
Can you not talk about?
Oh, nah, it's my man.
Nah, that was your man, right? That's what I love. That's what I love. Where's my camera? Right here. This is why Mouse Jones exists.
He's definitely wrong.
All I do is just show you the problem.
Yeah, he's wrong.
Before you see the face, you're like, yeah, that's fucked up. This is my man. This is my man. No, my man. Chill, my man.
It's the total opposite.
Okay, so I literally said in response to this, it sounds good, but bullshit. Most men are actually intimidated by a woman who is a finished product. And I think when we talk about where we land in the system of how we've been able to grow financially, I think mentally, spiritually, emotionally, because we actually do the work.
Who's we?
Don't do that. Women, I'm speaking.
She put on one long sleeve dress and then she does the work.
But I disagree with
I
disagree with some of you said most men are intimidated.
I disagree fully with this take that we gamble on potential, but men need to see a finished product before.
No, I disagree the part where you said most men are intimidated by a woman who is a finished product.
You agree with me. So
I disagree with that part.
You disagree with that
because I feel like
you disagree with both these takes.
I disagree with
can we dissect them?
I disagree with the entirety of this post.
Yes, the whole thing.
I disagree with the initial tweet
and light it on fire.
No, let me
put this on the express bus and drive.
And don't stop.
I gotta be fair. Being someone who talks to successful women all the time who are at the top of their game and everything, they think men are intimidated by them a lot of the times,
but
they're not. Actually not. They want men to be. Like it's like they want.
It's a power.
Yeah,
bro. We keep going to power and control.
Like they really want.
Y'all really don't want to have
a dick swinging contest with these dudes.
Y'all don't want to have a conversation either.
Well, no one would want that conversation because what she is saying is a byproduct of patriarchy.
But
but in reverse.
No, it's the no, it's not reverse. It is the byproduct. This is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, he's right.
It's the byproduct of patriarchy.
Yeah, like
you put yourself in a position, and now when you're asked out, you still have to maintain the bar that you imaginarily set.
Yes.
The woman or the man?
The man. That's why women are acting that way, because typically the system says men are supposed to do this, men are supposed to do that. So when you get a woman that's in that position,
they now want to be the man.
They want to raise it. They want to raise the man's bar.
Yeah. They want the man to meet their bar.
Yeah.
But you're not realizing that your bar is imaginary.
Can we talk?
We can talk-ish.
A nigga never said that. It says something like
There's two things to this.
Yes.
One, women are making a shit ton of money.
Yes.
Cool. A lot of those same women, and this is two things that education is doing, in my opinion, and corporate is doing, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We are honoring degrees, right? And we are honoring corporate promotions. And so now when we start to get degrees, like people honor the $140,000 a year attorney over the $350,000 a year plumber. Subconsciously, we do that. So now
they're respecting the title more than the actual
and the degrees,
function of the job.
Yes, or more than the money, more than because that job carries a certain cachet, right? It's surgeons, it's doctors out here that might make $160. My electrician could make $160 in 4 months. We don't give the electrician the same praise that we give the doctor.
That's just the ways in which we view those.
Cool.
Wait, because
You know
to
why?
me, no, because to me,
You said
no,
Patriarchy.
no, because it's the same thing that we actually do with labels in relationships, right? I could be in a healthy, long-lasting partnership with someone. I'm devalued as a woman if I'm not a wife.
If you're not married.
If I'm not married.
I agree.
Yeah.
Only because of the what we have placed on being a wife over being a girlfriend or partner.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But let me finish, right? So now when you get these women that have these corporate jobs, they go to work and they talk down to motherfuckers every single day in their job.
And then they come home and do
I
it
have friends
to their
that
man.
I've addressed this with. And when you come home because you just spent and these are women that work 10 and 12 hour days. Like they not working an 8-hour day. So you are accustomed to talking to people how you feel. And when you come home and your husband don't have a higher title than you or don't make as much money as you, you are accustomed to feeling like he is beneath you because that's what you see every day at work. So now you make $500 and he only make
my last
$150.
relationship failed because of that.
Yo, look,
That very thing he said, yeah.
like dog, she might make $500,000. You ain't no bum, and and just because you don't make as much money as your woman, you ain't a bum. You might make 180, and she make 500.
Yeah.
She talks to the 180 niggas like shit every
Yeah.
day at work. She can't cut it off when she reaches the
I agree
threshold
with that.
and turns the doorknob. She
agree
don't
with
cut it
that.
off.
I'm
But that's
not
his
disagreeing.
fault. That's his fault.
I mean, I didn't do that.
Hold on.
I was
wait.
I was
that's
very
his
thoughtful.
It is his fault.
Okay.
It is his fault.
All right.
Because you're supposed to put your foot down in the
Yes.
very beginning of the relationship
Yes.
and set the standard.
Yes.
He put his foot down.
But
But hold on, bitch.
That
This
dude-
boy ain't even doing fine.
you know what'll happen? When he leaves that woman for her being disrespectful or for her not respecting him, she's gonna say he was intimidated by me because I made more money than him.
That's not what I
and
said.
that might not be the case.
I was gonna say
You're an outlier.
he cheated on me with a homeless bitch because
Not
he
you.
wanted.
That's
he
not
wanted
about you.
He wanted
Yo, dog, you need a hug?
You gotta stop calling people homeless.
You
bro.
got your
No,
dress
she was-
on, you need a
like-
She
hug?
was homeless.
Wait.
She was unhoused.
You didn't want it.
She was a couch server.
Dog, can we
That's a house. Somebody's house has a couch in it.
But
Yo,
that's another reason why, like, you know, I'm known for the book The M Man is for Money. And people think that means like take a man's money and, you know,
Little
like gold
bit.
dig him and all.
I
But
mean,
that's
Oh, that's
not
not what I got from the title. I got the total opposite.
What
Yeah,
you
that's
get?
yeah.
That y'all only using these niggas and valuing them based on how much money they got.
No, that's not what it is either. But that's not what's in the book. But
Just on
Wait,
the first
one of
page.
the people. What?
one example that I always say that would work better is if you do make more money, that doesn't mean as a woman, right? Like as the woman, just because I make more money doesn't mean that I'm going to pay more, right? Because sometimes men truly do want to feel like they're still
Insecure men.
well, there are insecure men though,
True,
right?
they exist.
So
That's why
I-
patriarchy
In
exists.
abundance.
even
Well, that's why patriarchy
and
exists.
I joke about this all the time, but men usually don't know how much money I have, right? I will let them think that I'm the brokest bitch in the world.
I know. How do I
Right.
change? How do I get men to think that?
You
Express
gotta take
bus.
the express bus.
No. What the fuck? Yo, you know how I live.
I want
That's
niggas
the
to think
choice.
Y'all
I want niggas to think I don't have money
You
anymore.
gotta be out there like this.
Not hitchhiking. Pull my money.
No.
Cutty got his sign.
Wait, Cutty. Actually, can we pause on your take real quick? Because I wanna do hypocritical you on one of your tweets, and this one was from the last year or so.
Okay.
You said at some point you gotta grow up. You're not finding the right person because you want people to prove they want you by kissing your ass and passing all your dumbass tests you're putting them through. That doesn't translate well long term. You, not the hand raise.
Fam. Especially to the dope niggas.
Okay.
Dope niggas not jumping through your hoops. Bitch, I'm dope. I got 1 million of you waiting for some attention.
Not 1 million of
Well,
you.
a dope nigga
I thought it was a dime a dozen or
a
something.
dope nigga also wouldn't say that.
No, I'm
A dope nigga would never
but
say that.
They won't say it. They'll feel it.
Yeah,
and
they'll just-
I don't
y'all-
even think they would feel it. I think
I
they would
disagree.
be so far. Hear me. I
Turned
think they
off
would be.
by it?
Wouldn't even. I think those type of people wouldn't even bypass you. So the type of people you're describing wouldn't even come across somebody, the dope nigga you're discussing, because that
What do we
doesn't-
mean by dope nigga? What does that look like?
Whatever
Somebody
somebody's
who-
assessment of
Right.
a dope guy is.
So,
See, and that's the thing.
but here's my question to both of you. I mean, to all three of you, because
skip me, it's fine.
essentially, when you're dating, I know you called it dumbass test. Y'all do test the people you date to see how they would
It
respond.
shouldn't be a
Not no
test.
more.
It's not a test.
Not as
Like,
an
it
adult.
should-
And I'm 40-something years old.
I don't like
It
tests
should
either.
not be a test, right? Because
I'm
the
observant.
women that I speak to, they have this, oh, he needs to impress me, he needs to impress me, he needs to impress me, he needs to impress me.
Are you impressive?
Well, that too.
I got a
only-
fat ass.
But this is the thing.
Don't do that.
I literally.
Yo, out of context, that is a crazy statement.
I think I
knew-
would. Let's
Nah,
have that.
chill.
No,
'Cause
that's
I knew-
all they need.
Now the soundbite is crazy.
Hold on.
Just
I
ish,
just
I
need-
got a fat ass.
No, listen.
Code open right there.
I have
I got a fat ass. Today on Hot Takes with Mandy.
Yeah.
I got a fat ass.
Once you really know your value as a man or woman,
Yeah.
you're
As a
not
person.
gonna. Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you're not gonna subscribe to these things, and you're gonna be able to see them from a mile away, right? So if you know that somebody's testing you for something very frivolous and stupid, right? You're usually gonna reject it or kind of like try to prove a point to them, like, bitch, fuck out of here, nigga, fuck out of here. You know,
It
like I'm not doing that.
Depends on which me you caught.
And these
But-
that's the problem about these, like, not your tweet exactly. There's the problem with tweets and these things that are like so binary, right? Because you're like beholden to them, and then you don't realize, like I keep saying, the minutia that goes between each and every single one of these characters. There's like actual
context.
minutia that you have to weave through, right? So like, there's, in theory, this sounds absolutely insane, but like we break it down, and you're
But it's not.
what you're describing.
So, like, let's say, for example, long time ago, I remember, long time ago, I remember cutting a dude off because he didn't offer me an Uber home. This was,
He pop.
I don't think that's a.
no.
I'll let you finish.
No, he
I don't
didn't.
think that's a problem. You
No,
should have.
that's what I said. It was a long time ago.
Did he hit it?
No. I had never done anything with him yet.
Okay.
But we were talking and he was trying to talk to me. I left work, went to dinner with my friend. They cut the train off. We stayed at the restaurant for too long. Cut the train off. And he texted me and I was like, oh, nothing, just wait on an Uber. I was like, it's like $100 or something like that. I can't remember. It was like everybody's calling because the train is cut off. And he was like, oh, okay. And then
Well,
like,
you said you're waiting on an Uber.
no.
She wanted him to offer the money.
But she.
No, I said I'm about to, I was like, the train is cut off, whatever. I'm about to
Take
call
a
an Uber or whatever the case is. I was like, well, it's like 10:30 at night.
Right.
And he says, oh, I live one. He said, where are you? I was like, Fulton. He's like, oh, I live one stop away on the train. I said, I just said the fucking train is cut off, right? But
So you was already mad.
well, but then he says, so I left it alone. I wasn't mad at that. Like 40 minutes later, he texted me. He was like, so how'd you make out? That is what pissed me off.
You know, you sound like my friend, and this is
No,
where
but again, this was a long.
I know, but I have
If it
friends
was
that still
tomo-
sound
if it
like
was-
you today.
If it was tomorrow, I would be on
No,
your side.
I have friends who are
Tomorrow?
upset.
Like, no, I'm saying, like, I'm on your side with that one.
Yeah, like
I'm
if you
on your
hit me
side with that one.
tomorrow and be
I'm
like,
not
oh,
gonna
how'd
lie.
you make
Not
out?
me.
I'm not.
Not
What?
me.
I'm not. And
That
I
what?
get upset with my friend now.
That's
when
entitlement.
she goes out to
That's
eat.
why I said a long
It's not
time ago.
entitlement.
So I stopped talking to him for a year, and then he kept on trying to come back, and then I'm like, yo, you really want to know why I stopped fucking? Like, stop trying to like let you pursue me or whatever. He was like, yeah, what happened? And I was like, that night, you knew I was in a situation, not a situation, but you didn't offer, basically.
She's
and he
not
said,
wrong.
and he
She's
said,
dead wrong.
No, you know what he said?
She's
he said,
only not wrong for
She's
one
wrong.
thing. It depends on the level of their friendship and their relationship.
We
at the
hadn't
time.
done anything
They
yet,
were
nothing.
new, fam.
Yeah.
A new nigga don't owe you $100 Uber ride
you're right.
because your train
It
cut
don't,
off.
Right.
First of all, the nigga don't know you told him how much it was?
Yes,
Oh.
but wait.
Either
Rick,
way.
This
Hold
is
on,
the
hold on, hold on.
caveat.
Let her finish.
the end
Go to
part-
Mandy, then go to Mouse.
The end part was that he said, why you ain't just ask me for it? He was like, I'm sorry, I'm a tech guy. I'm black and white. I don't know. Like, I don't take hints. This is what he said. I don't do good with
I
hints.
agree with his delivery. I have friends now, current day, current age, older, that literally will go on dates, and because she walks out and they don't pay for the valet, she never wants to see them again. She feels like they should be paying for her valet for her to park her
Two
car.
different things.
No, well, no, it's the same thing. And to me,
Your valet. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's
brain.
the same
I'm sorry.
thing,
I'm
same
sorry.
brain. And so to me, I feel like that's where, again, I tell her, as someone who wants to dismantle all this shit, first off, you're not telling him out the gate that this is what you're expecting of him, so you're not communicating it. And B, you're just hoping he reads your mind. I'm so over women just thinking men should know how to read our minds and give us everything we want without ever asking for it. Because let's be very clear, there's a lot of women who would have never got upset that he didn't send $100 for the Uber.
And would have appreciated the 40-minute check-in to make sure you got home safely.
Because the emotionally
that Uber.
This was like a decade ago, right? And I don't feel the same way now.
Sure you at least got home safe. That shows that a level of care.
Can I land? All right,
Go ahead.
Let me get this off. I promise.
Land mouse.
I'm with her 1,000%. I'm with older. If you feel differently, I'm with that because I'm telling you right now, that is indicative of a man's intent to provide. That man told you.
Yes and no, and I agree with that.
That man said to you, "Oh, I'm a tech guy. You gotta make it black and white, nigga." You're not just sitting. I know tech niggas, bro. You're not just sitting at work waiting for nigga. If something go wrong, it's your job to figure out. Oh, we should have been able to figure that out beforehand. So if I'm talking to you, if I'm fucking with you, if I'm in your face, I'm dealing with you. My provision, I'm going to want to make sure you good. Like to me, that's bugged out. That nigga didn't say, "Yo, I'm not asking you got home. I'm watching you make sure you get home because I just ordered you an Uber or I made sure you was good." So now the reason I say that's different from a valet is because, ma'am, you already got here. We're literally talking about her getting somewhere, making sure you got somewhere.
I'm providing for you to go home. I'm paying the valet. That is provision to some people.
No, that's not a provision.
Well, Mouse, I do want to shake the table a little bit with you
ahead.
because you speak so well. Your tweets, I had nothing hypocritical to pull from you.
Not a damn thing.
And so then I do want to ask, because what we see a lot of times are people speaking from a place that sounds good.
Yeah.
But the practice.
I'm a terrible person to date. Let's jump out there now.
That's basically where we go.
I would like
I've not been a good boyfriend.
Like, so what's the disconnect on you being able to have the idea of what it takes to be a good provider, a person in partnership, potentially a husband, but you're not any of those things?
I was a husband. I was a husband at a time that I was unequipped to be a husband. I was a terrible husband. And my ex-wife, my baby mother, we had something that was unsustainable because neither one of us knew how to sustain a marriage. We both I came from a household that had a healthy, long-lasting marriage, but I'm also a product of a broken home, right?
Okay.
So the man that raised me isn't my biological dad. So yes, I have an example of a husband and a wife, but I also have these issues of self-worth. I also have these issues of, damn, I want to be like my dad and the man he is, but inherently I'm kind of like this nigga, and I don't really want to talk to this nigga to figure out these issues. So, and then just other than the fact I was 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, you get what I'm saying? Like I was still learning myself. I wasn't even 1,000% sure of who I was until I was damn near 26, 27. That's a year after our separation. You get what I'm saying? So I was ill-equipped to that. Now,
do you believe you're equipped enough because you tweet well, you speak well?
I think I could be.
Could you put it into practice?
Can I put it in practice? Anybody can say yes, and I think that is the scariest thing. Somebody saying, now even somebody like me, like I think people who have never been married, I think they're insane when they say, "Oh, I can't wait to be married." How the fuck you know? The marriage isn't Disney World. Like you can't look at it and be like, "Ooh, bitch, when I get there, I'm gonna take that ride." Because when you get to your marriage, it's gonna be completely different from anything you ever seen, and you have to be prepared to deal with that and sit through that and love through that. Now, a lot of motherfuckers can't do that. We see a lot of motherfuckers fold because it's too hot outside. We see a lot of motherfuckers fold because they didn't get the promotion at work.
Because the nigga ain't paid for their $100 Uber.
Yeah, but
however you call it. But if you can't sit through that, you damn sure better not get married. Because the motherfucker that you gotta see every day, they gonna do a lot more than that.
So another thing is I have a lot of women call me who are crying, literally and figuratively, about not being married yet, right? And I'm like, it's so funny that you have this ideal picture of what marriage is going to look like for you in your mind, and you can't wait to get to that.
A person crying.
The Disney princess
A
syndrome.
person crying about not being married is the last person that should be married.
It's society.
But I know that.
It's society.
And it's the patriarchy that has us in a chokehold.
It's society. They sell
know.
y'all
No, she's
Snow
right.
White. They sell y'all Cinderella. They sell
Yep.
y'all Vogue magazine. All the shit that y'all look at from the time when y'all are small.
Yep.
That this man is gonna come rescue you
Yep.
on this white horse
Yep.
and take you off into the sunset. All of that shit is what y'all buy into,
And we do.
people place a value on them being married.
And then I say to them, I'm like,
Women.
okay. Yeah.
More so than men.
Yeah. And then I say something like, you know, I help people with their dating app profiles and dating strategies and stuff. And then
Yo, imagine being on an express
You get
bus.
their hinge up.
Yo, imagine somebody working on your profile and they on a bitch, you gotta put this picture up here.
as a New Yorker,
Yo, dog. And they see
I
you
can
on
be
there.
on the express bus if you can be on the train.
Can you imagine
No,
paying
you a
Cutty
pro.
to do your fucking dating profile and you look over on the express bus and it's Cutty? Yo, bitch. That's
Give my money. I
that's
need
the
a
last
Don't let them come for your
$49.99
business.
you
Don't let them come for your
Bloomberg was
business.
telling everybody to take the train.
Yeah.
And he was a gazillionaire.
I'm on the
Gazillionaire.
train with the
Okay.
He just getting it
I'm
off.
on the
'Cause I'll be on the
express
train.
bus.
But hold on, you be getting on
Way
me.
safer.
You do get on me when I get on the train.
Safer. There's no bums. There's nobody selling candy. There's
No,
nobody
I
smoking
want
weed.
to get
bums
There's
on
nobody
the bus.
eating.
I will-
Not on that bus.
Yeah.
Wait, this
They
is
drive in the
How much
bus.
this bus cost?
$7.
It's a bum on the $7
No,
bus.
it's not.
No, let's
they
be very
can't even
clear.
get on it.
This is real
You
New
know
York
who,
right
you
now,
know who's
guys.
on the bus?
Yeah, this is
My
real
nigga
New York
DM me,
shit.
you cannot fuck.
This is
Driving it.
This is
wait,
real New York.
wait. Hold on.
Yes.
That was the point was that I'm helping women do their dating profiles, right?
Yes.
I'm like, all right, so tell me who you are. Tell me like what's great about you.
I'm marrying. I'm dating with intent to be married.
Right, like all of it, but not even what you want. Who are you? Who are you?
They
Who
don't
am
know.
I getting?
They don't
If
know
I'm
who
a
that-
dude, who am I getting? Let's put this in this profile, right? They be like, I don't know. So why you want to be married and you don't even know?
And they picky.
Yes. You don't even know
Dog.
who you are, but you want somebody to choose you. You don't know. You don't
And
even. You want
fit
to sell
all of
yourself
this
to them.
criteria, check all these boxes, and you don't even know who you are. We brought up Kevin Samuels.
Yeah.
Kevin Samuels used to ask these women, "Ma'am, what qualifies you to get
A
this
high-value man.
Because he didn't just go
But
and
I
shoot
didn't like
at them.
that.
There's no
route
such thing.
because
There's no
they
such thing as
wanted-
a high value man.
There's not
There's
at
no,
all. Ain't
There's
none
no
of
such
y'all
thing as a
high
high value person. Like that is
I'm
the
high
most.
value.
But he
would-
did put
he would
physical attributes onto it as well, though.
No, not for men. He
Yes,
would.
he did.
He did very
Yeah,
few.
he
Very
did.
few.
He was like, "Nigga, how
You
big
you
is your
short,
dick?"
you're fat. You called a nigga short and
No.
fat.
He asked the nigga how. He said, "Is your dick big?" And
No.
he said, "What?"
But it was on a sliding scale because the niggas that make $500,000 don't need a big dick.
Well, if you also make 500,000, you wasn't online with Kevin Samuels, so there's the sliding scale.
Nah, we
That's
be
not true.
online.
But
That's
it's
not
a
true.
history behind Kevin
No, I
Samuels.
didn't say you watching. You ain't calling it, Kevin Samuels. Can you help me?
Yo, but listen. So,
Kevin Samuels, can you help me?
to
I
her
got this
point,
$500,000. I don't know what to do with this dick.
when she saying she helping these people have a set criteria
Yeah.
in which they think that their significant other should meet.
So I tell them, I always say that I feel like there's 3 major components that you should put in your dating profile, right? One of them is who are you? Second one is what are you looking for? Third one is who are you looking for, right? They know exactly who they're looking for. But like you said, they barely know. So it's literally an exercise that I make them do to actually dig deep and try to figure out. Because I'm like, first of all, let's not put all just the great things about you. Bitch, if you got an attitude, you got an attitude on there, right?
Well, I
Because
don't agree with Cutty. I don't think that's gonna
no,
win.
no.
Hey, here's all the reason you shouldn't fuck with me.
No.
What's up?
You're gonna be right on that. You're gonna be on that
You gonna
express
make
bus
friends
with me.
with Cutty. Look, you gonna look at Cutty like,
I
bitch.
don't mean that. I mean like
I understand. It's a joke.
there's some
It's a joke.
people.
I get what you're saying.
There's some people who they're very serious. They give me all their attributes. I come up with something a really creative way to put it, and then they don't like it. I'm like, bitch, that's just who you told me you the fuck you was.
Oh,
Right?
Yeah, but you didn't
now
say I
they
had
don't
to.
like you holding that mirror up
But
sometimes.
so if I say,
That's good.
oh, I'm a super sophisticated person, I'm no nonsense, I'm strict, I'm serious, blah blah blah. They like, oh because that's who you're
That's who
you're
you
trying
are.
to bait and
I'm
switch
not really
right now.
strict. I just don't like everything.
Exactly. But I'm telling
like
you
how
right
that
now,
sounds.
there's somebody who
Yeah,
wants
you're
somebody
nuts.
who's strict. There's somebody who wants somebody who's not gonna play in niggas' faces. There's somebody who wants somebody who's super sophisticated, has sarcasm as their humor. You know, like there's people who want that.
Not me.
That's
Keep that
attractive
funny
to
shit
people.
away from me.
So now what? Are we to a place where we stand on where we started? Has anyone shifted their opinions
No.
on
No, I don't think anyone has. No,
dismantling
definitely
or
not.
upholding,
No,
like where we're at?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, let me ask this
still
then,
stuck.
Okay,
because
what you
do
wanna
think-
ask? What you wanna ask?
I do think it got lost somewhere because I think some of the dating and all that kind of
Yes.
shit. But that's why I asked from the beginning.
Yes.
So this is just my question to just feel like I was a part of figuring out that actual question.
Yes.
If you are for the dismantling of
Yes.
patriarchy, what are you specifically willing to do to change patriarchy, at least how it's ran in your life?
I mean, to me, first off, it's holding these types of conversations. But when I'm dating now, I'm leaning with the fact that I'm coming into this relationship not looking for traditional things. The way I show up professionally and personally don't align fully with the patriarchy in terms of what I can bring. Like, even in terms of, like, I'm not gonna be the one to stay home and cook. The gender roles and things, that doesn't fit my actual day-to-day life because of what I do for a living. And what I expect from you is not just provision and providing. I provide for myself. I do need more things from you than those things.
What do you want?
Oh, I want the emotionally intelligent man who's also available to take trips with me. And,
Vision.
I mean, I get provision in that way. So I don't lead with financial.
Yeah.
Which to most women and what we're seeing on social media is the main bar, right? I don't need a man to make more than me. I understand I still only want a black man. I've only dated black men. I understand the numbers of that. So I'm fine with a man making less than me. They still would just have to be able to go to the places that I like to eat, or find times to travel to the places I want to travel to. That would suffice for
Is
me.
that really I'm literally asking. I'm not. There's
Yeah,
nothing behind it. Is that really a turn off? Like a nigga don't.
I like really
You ain't like
nice
ramen?
and
Wait,
he
expensive
didn't-
food.
I think
Yes,
she
that's
got
a
what
turn
I-
off. That's a
No,
turn off for
not
me.
the food. I meant the travel. Like you said, you specifically
You
said like go.
being excited to go to Miami and I want to go to St. Bart. Yeah.
This is the problem with that. It's only one. Are you willing to subsidize the trip?
What's that mean?
Yeah.
Pay
No,
for
I know
some?
subsidizing.
Pay
Yeah,
for some?
I'm saying in this context, what do you mean by that?
Like, if your man, let's just say, because again, it's a numbers
Oh,
game.
like-
We don't understand. It's math. All the emotional shit is bullshit. It's math. So look up the median income of black men in America, and that's going to shed some light on the whole situation.
But you know what's crazy? I spend a lot of money, but I don't like to waste money.
That's
right?
you. You
No,
might
no,
make
no.
more money than most of
No,
society
no, no,
makes.
but I'm only using this as an
Especially if you're
example.
taking the express bus. You're
Just
saving a lot of money.
because, yes, I've
you have a
become
Rolex
very
on. Most of America can't buy a Rolex.
But I've become very frugal, right? So if I'm
That's a
dealing,
mother of pearl dial too. That's a good watch. right there.
No,
That's a
no,
mother of pearl
Oyster
dial.
Perpetual.
Listen
Hey,
to
Oyster
this
Perpetual
example
Jubilee band.
first.
Yo.
Oh,
I
damn, a
could deal-
36? Bitch, I got a 31.
I could deal
put
with
that
a
away.
dude, right? I want to
ever bring
go.
that
I want to
up.
go to somebody. I want to go away on a trip. I'm like, yo, I can get us a discount. Yo,
Your
I could-
discount might not be
Yeah,
in
but you
his
still wanna-
financial.
you
Nah,
still wanna say
still,
it's a nice
it's a good
shit.
Let me
discount.
finish. Let me finish. Let me finish, right?
No.
You want to be on the bill on the water.
And this is what I'm saying. This is a real conversation. We joking, right? So you could meet a quality dope dude.
Yes.
Good dude.
Yes.
But that dude, and we live in New York, fam. So
Sure.
even if you don't live in New York, you live in the Metro Atlanta area, the Metro
rough.
DC area,
Yeah.
the Metro Miami area. These
Middle
numbers.
America listens to this podcast.
I'm just
Please
giving
let's
you-
include them.
You're missing,
Oh, okay.
you're missing
Talking
the
about
context
us.
what he's saying.
Okay,
He's talking
okay.
about the dating.
Talking
pool.
about us. So what I'm
Shout out to
saying
y'all in
is,
Omaha, but we're talking about the dating.
if you
pool.
meet a man that makes 70 grand, 80 grand, he's a good dude.
We could go to the places I
No,
want to
you
go.
can't.
Yeah, but he's not gonna be able to come home.
I was going before.
But the question,
Y'all
it's posed the question: are you
My
willing
question
to
is,
subsidize?
are you guys willing to subsidize? If this nigga makes 80K, he brings home $4,000 a month. Where the fuck is you going at this? $1,000 a night, $800 a night, and my income take home after taxes is $4K a month.
I didn't say I would date him.
Stop right there. Stop right there.
Therein
Stop right
lies
there.
the problem.
Stop right there.
4,000 a month?
Well,
I'm
let's
not
be very
accepting
clear.
that.
I never in my life knew how much a man made. Never, ever.
Therein
I'm
lies
talking,
the problem.
I'm talking about number
That
wise.
went
I don't
I
think
mean,
that's a problem.
50K?
I don't think that's a problem.
Please pull up the numbers.
I don't think
never
that's a problem.
ever knew how much a man made in my life. he could have made 40,000. He could have made 400,000. Could have
You
made
care
4
about
million.
how he dealt with the
Yes.
money he
so
made.
I never was like.
And
I
you
never
can't-
was able to put it into perspective about like how I don't even know how much checks look like. Like I've always had like a very unconventional job, so I don't know what checks look like every 2 weeks based on how much you make. So
Invoices,
I'm
freelance.
not trying to crack you.
yeah, what?
You are trying to crack
I
me.
promise you I'm not. You just cracked yourself.
Well,
No,
if
I
you
didn't.
won't date the nigga that makes $4,000 a month, then you are adhering to patriarchy.
No,
you
I'm
don't want
not.
to dismantle patriarchy. Because
He's
if
right.
you are in love with
Two
this
things
man,
should be true.
listen,
Oh, get the
hold
fuck
on.
outta here.
If you are in love with this man, then you should not have a problem subsidizing his motherfucking trip. The same way niggas have been
I didn't say I wouldn't
Let me
subsidize the
finish.
trip.
You just said you wouldn't date him.
Let me
I wouldn't
finish,
date a nigga
please.
making $4,000 a month.
So
That's
you
what
wouldn't
80K
subsidize the
is.
trip.
That's what
I
I'm
would
saying.
subsidize- No,
she
that's-
said she wouldn't pay. Wait, you would or you would not pay for the trip?
Maybe one trip, but not all the
But you
trips.
just said you wouldn't date the nigga
Which
that would need
means
you to
you don't
subsidize the trip.
subscribe.
No. I said I wouldn't date the guy making $4,000 a month.
That's
No, he's saying that's the same
Which
person.
means you
I
are
don't.
not-
I could date a guy who makes 120 and still might not be able to afford the trip that I want to go.
120K?
Yes.
He's bringing home $5,500 a month.
That's how much? Really? I'm like,
Next.
damn.
No, that's 65K.
No, nigga, what you make on
What-
that
he talking about the
paper
net.
and what you net and
What you
bring
net
home
and
and
bring
can
home.
spend are two totally different numbers.
He better not
Listen.
have no kids.
Here goes
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
don't want him to have no kids.
Here goes the thing.
And you want black
spending
men,
on.
Look, here
and
goes
the
the-
numbers are not in your favor.
Here goes the
And that's
thing.
what these women are faced with today.
Look, here goes the thing.
Okay, I'm gonna
Patriarchy-
just have my
you say-
cat and marry myself.
Please refer to our marriage episode.
I'm gonna dismantle patriarchy by just being with myself and being a
You better.
happily single woman.
You better spend some money on your nigga.
Damn.
I spend money on guys
Or you could be
on
honest.
their birthday.
Cause if we not,
No thanks.
You know what?
No
listen,
thanks.
it shouldn't be. If
Breakfast?
we
No
trying to
thanks.
dismantle patriarchy, it
once a
doesn't
year.
matter who's
That's twice.
spending the money as long as we
Father's
are
Day.
loving each other and enjoying the experience. Nobody gave a fuck when that nigga took you to the fucking Eiffel Tower on his dime. You shouldn't give a fuck if you take him to the Eiffel Tower on your dime if this is your nigga and who you really love. I was in places before where my women made way more bread than me.
This also isn't a conversation. What I've realized, this also isn't a conversation
That
about
what?
dismantling patriarchy.
That
This is
what?
a conversation about dating people as
Outside
fair
of your tax
human
bracket?
beings.
Yes.
And y'all are having, it's kicking y'all ass.
It's kicking your ass.
No. All three of y'all. It's kicking all three of y'all. No, it is kicking all three of y'all.
Not my ass.
Bullshit.
Y'all are gonna listen back to this and you're gonna realize everything I just said. This is
Not
we
me.
stopped talking
Allison's
about
gonna have a
these-
field day when she listens to
Yo,
this.
we literally stopped talking about dismantling patriarchy 80 minutes ago.
No, we didn't.
And then
No,
we
we
have discussed.
didn't.
No, we didn't.
All we have discussed and identified the last 80 minutes is how we should date each other, being fair and complete humans.
True.
That doesn't even start to actuate patriarchy. We just are getting to the bottom level and it's
No.
kicking y'all ass.
No, but you
you
know
say
about-
you don't spend when you say you ain't spend no money on women. You
No,
say you
I didn't
want-
say
you
that.
didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
You just say that.
I
You
said-
opened the show with that.
I said,
you
yo.
said my name is fuck these bitches. That's what you said. I heard. I
I
was
did
right
not say
here.
that at all. I said, yo, I'm not paying for companionship. I'll spend money on women.
You specifically
I'm
said
not.
you said paying for women. You said spending money on women isn't my thing. That's specific.
Yeah,
what
that is
you
what you
I
said.
did.
That's a crazy.
Okay,
quote.
so what is she saying? What did I say?
She says
A lot of bullshit.
Then I be on the
a lot of
bus.
bullshit. No, to be honest, it's really kicking y'all ass.
No,
It
it's
is.
far from.
Because
Bullshit.
you said I want to dismantle. Y'all always dismantle patriarchy.
I
That's what you
do.
said.
But
Then you
he-
said,
but he can't
I'm
make
not dating no
4,000.
broke ass motherfucker. I'm not
You did
paying
say
for no trips. So, and then you call niggas pussy because they don't want to go shoot a nigga. You literally, this is not about patriarchy. This is about wanting, and this, I'm not being funny either. This is about getting to the base level of being able to show up and date one another as full, complete human beings.
Please.
And what do full and complete human beings want and need? Fairness. That's
Yeah.
it. Fairness. I want you to, not equality. That's where equality and fairness gets us fucked up every time. We want women that I have interacted with, they don't want equality as much as they want fairness.
They
So
just-
no, they don't want to give up the
Yeah.
gender roles, but they don't want you to treat them like less than human because they partake in your gender role that help benefit your life.
To
No,
piggyback
and
off
it
of
helps
what you're
benefit
saying.
their
We're
life.
not talking about that's not how this
Wait,
You
but to
just
piggy-
brought up what they want.
Fairness doesn't work that way.
It's a mu-
Fairness
want.
works. Fairness works in a way that you are doing what you are doing because it's the right thing to do, and then she does what she does because it's the right
That's not
thing to
true,
do.
because
Because
I
in the
disagree
middle,
with that.
y'all have.
That's not true, because
I think
fairness
that-
is relative.
Right.
So what you might be a man and think is fair treatment of your chick, she may think it's unfair.
Right,
I
so
think
you have
that
to talk
the better
to your
term,
woman.
I think the better term for it is just
course.
mutually beneficial, right?
Yes.
Because fairness, like he said, could be unfair to you, right? Like you could think it's fair, she could not. But
Well, no, 'cause
as
it's
long as
not
we,
fair.
right? But you might think it's fair, but she may not.
But
think
that's the
it's
part
fair.
of a relationship. This is why I keep saying, if we're talking relationship, what you deem fair has to be priority to me if I am dating you.
But that's
and
why I
what
said-
and what I think is fair is what you
But I
have to
think
take
the mutually
priority.
beneficial is more on target because it may not be equal and it may not be
It
fair,
won't ever
but we
be
agree
equal.
with it.
It won't ever
right?
be equal because patriarchy will not go anywhere.
Well,
so it
Okay,
won't be
well, I
equal.
want to dismantle the goddamn patriarchy.
So go date the
And listen,
$4,000
shut
a
the-
month.
Shut the
Yeah,
fuck
word
up.
is bond.
I
Yeah.
have a question for y'all after our conversation. Has
Okay.
your mind changed? Is patriarchy beneficial in some respects, like dating? Or should we burn patriarchy to hell and start all the way over with it? I want y'all to share your answers in the comments over on our social media page. And especially if you are over on our Patreon, make sure you join the Discord and keep the conversation going. Where can people hear more of y'all's goddamn rhetoric of upholding the patriarchy? Please share. Cutty, we'll start with you. For all the women wanting to date these men in this goddamn
Well, my name
era.
is Passport Cutty. You can find me on Express Bus 4 o'clock.
I'm on
P12. Cartel.
B11. No,
I'm in the back right side. Don't sit in my seat,
I'm in
bitch.
the front. I like
She
to,
said no
I like
Rosa
to
Parks.
She
I
said
like
no
to see
Rosa.
like a kid.
man.
I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at passport_Cutty. I have books and I have games and
all
I
the
do
things.
advice calls on dating, relationships, and everything else under the sun.
I would like to ask you a question about
Yes.
advice.
Yes.
I'm not asking advice. I mean this with all due respect. What was the moment where you were like, I should be giving advice?
When everybody started emailing me, asking me for advice.
Okay.
It was like literally that.
Okay.
Like tons and tons and tons of emails of people wanting my opinion based on what I was
Right.
tweeting and
Right.
stuff like that. So yeah.
Mouse, where can people, I guess, hear more from you? Jesus.
Right now, I'm taking like a little sabbatical. I don't want y'all bitches hearing me. And I mean bitches and niggas. So y'all can
Very endearing.
so y'all can read what I have to say over there on the Twitter or X, whatever it's called. Maelstrom.
You're not on Blue Sky?
I'm over there, but I ain't said nothing. I don't
Okay,
know.
me neither.
It's too much work. I done put three things and ain't nobody said nothing to. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take my ass back where I'm appreciated.
Right.
So I'm still, Mouse Jones, everything. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that. If you are live experience, Trap Karaoke, we are on tour, we're everywhere. So Mouse Jones, Trap Karaoke, follow, get your tickets. Deadass, a comedy show. If you're in the New York City tri-state area, every month we selling out SOBs every first Thursday of the month. So yeah, come on, laugh.
I love
Next Thursday.
Yeah, this Thursday coming up. Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
Deadass is the name of it?
Yeah,
Deadass.
Deadass, a comedy show.
Okay.
And Ish, where can they listen to you and your thoughts?
I'm listening right now. I'm listening on my way here.
Joe Button Podcast. My socials are That's That Ish.
That's that Ish. Hey, y'all can get his merch too that he wearing. If y'all want to go ahead and support that. Oh, did you bring my hoodie?
That's not patriarchy,
Oh.
bro. Pay.
I pay. Nigga, don't do that. I support. I buy.
The
I
hoodie she's
support.
asking for, did she buy it?
Didn't I
I
say?
haven't gotten a dollar money.
So you're asking for him to
I
give you
haven't
something free because you're a
gotten
woman.
my item.
Provision.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Guys,
You want
you
them
know
to
what?
come
I'm
here and
not listening to you.
provide.
You know what? Get the fuck out of here. All right. Y'all, at the end of the day, you can hate it or you can love it either way. Are you choosing to be selectively ignorant or are you choosing to be educated? See you next week for another episode. Y'all, I'm signing out. Bye.